the slide here, you can see the companies that I represent here, and they can all tell their own stories. And in fact, we heard some really good information from John Orts at HP this morning, and I know that Elena Papacosta is here from Dell. All of these companies have a lot of information on their websites about how they are reducing waste. And in fact, I want to discuss a little bit about all 3 R's because they all have a place in reducing waste. But we'll focus on the possibilities as well as the limitations of reuse in the electronic sphere. We produce every year a Design for Environment report, which talks about the 3 R's, reduce, reuse, recycling, and gives a lot of examples on how waste is being taken out throughout the supply chain. This is just a screenshot from the report. It might not be that easy to see, but what it says is that in pretty well every product category, the materials have been reduced by about 50% over the last 5 years, which is actually quite phenomenal. There's been a significant reduction in the amount of materials that are being put on the market in electronics. And believe it or not, we've been identified as one of the fastest decreasing waste streams just because the materials are going down quite rapidly. And not only that, but when you think about the multifunctional devices that we all have now. In the past, you'd have a floor-standing printer, and you'd have a fax machine, and you'd have scanners. They were all brought into one, which reduces about 30% in the weight right off the bat. Our smartphones, and I saw a presentation this morning, everybody put up their hands, the majority of you would have smartphones, so that you're able to listen to music, videos, do emails, phone calls, so many things, alarm clocks, watches, everything being put into these one devices. So how has this affected reuse? Well, when you look, whoops, there goes my microphone. I'll try not to turn my head. But when you look inside, oops, I don't know whether that means I have small ears or long hair, but something. The top pictures, that's inside a tablet, and it's almost tweezers to get in and dismantle it. On the right-hand side are 2 plasma TVs, 1 year in difference, and you can see what a difference just 1 year advance in technology makes. There's so much less in terms of the operating system in the second one, and then on the bottom left, that's an LCD TV. The inside, I think it's 2013 and 2014, there was a 60% reduction in the material inside these devices. So this miniaturization as well, which has really been enabled by integrated circuits, and they keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller, is a bit problematic for repair. They're not as easy as the larger pieces of equipment to repair. The old desktops are quite easy to affect repairs. The new equipment, not so much so. So how do we harvest value on the reuse side? And what I'm trying to say here is there's 2 different and very distinct markets for repair. At the bottom, it's business to business or commercial equipment, and there's a lot of repair takes place there. This is very expensive equipment, and it's large, so it does get repaired, and quite often it'll go right back to the manufacturing site where it was manufactured to be repaired there and returned. There's a lot of repair. It's through authorized refurbishers who are trained by the companies, and of course they're putting new operating systems in and making sure that the quality is excellent. So that's a very well established and very well working repair and reuse side. The consumer marketplace is a bit different because at the end of life of most consumer products, when people don't want to use them anymore, want something new, they pass it on to their relatives, friends, grandmother, cousin. They put it on Kijiji, and a great thing to do is take it to Computers for Schools or Habitat for Humanity. So it's in that informal sector that it gets reused. And we get it back for recycling, and when it comes back for recycling, it's usually truly end of life. So there's a number of things to consider in reuse and repair, and I just listed a few of them here. Customer demand absolutely drives it. functionality, because some functions do become obsolete over time, the cost to repair, I did okay backstage. Oh, it's falling off now. Anyway, the cost to repair, I mean, the biggest competitor to a reused product is a new product. And the cost equation, the economics really have to work. Availability of parts. We heard this morning that with the 3D printing, we'll have the possibility, hopefully in a few years, to be able to produce parts on demand that don't have to be kept in inventory, which was always an obstacle. The age, brand, and usage of the product, the more products you get in that are, say, 2 years old. For cell phones, the value drops off 50% after 2 years. For laptops, it's 3 or 4 years. There's all kinds of calculators on the internet, like SageBook, where you can put in the brand name, the product, and it'll tell you basically how much value it has in the reuse market if it's still functional. Material composition, whether it's on warranty and leases to come back. The data protection is a huge issue. A lot of people hang on to their devices because they're concerned about data protection, their bank accounts and photographs and all kinds of things. So at the end of the day, when things have gone through the marketplace, they do come back for recycling, and we have a very good and effective recycling system. And a lot of the materials coming back there, the companies are looking for ways to incorporate particularly difficult materials like plastics to get markets for back into the original products. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Shelagh.